Hey everyone, CozyAzeroth, aka Zachary Fruling here. Alright, today I am going to be diving back into working on Frieza's Fury, our retro 8-bit style Dragon Ball Z themed fighting game. And my friend Dylan and I, this game is his brainchild, and he and I have been working on it together. We were working on it last night, and we had quite the problem last night. One feature that Dylan wanted to add is to vary the Kai Blast colors by which character. So some characters have blue Kai Blast, and some have orange, and some have green, and so on and so forth. And we tried a strategy last night that was not working well. And so today, we're going to do it right. Or better, anyway. If not right, then better. So let's see. We need to get the game open. So cd fight as the directory it's in. Load fight. Okay. Let's make sure we're in the right part of the right version of the game here. We added some features yesterday. Okay. I think this is the right version of the game. Let's run. Select a character. Okay. I'm just testing a couple things real quick. All right, yeah, this is the right version. Okay. So what I want to do Okay. Let me think here. Okay, this is not where we want it to be. Just testing a couple things real quick. Okay. A notification here. I'm being a little quiet. I'm just trying to figure out exactly how I want to approach this. Just remembering how the pieces work here. Okay, I want to try something here. Oops, got the caps lock on. Actually, let me do that again. Let's use this character and that character. Okay, that looks good. So far, so good. So let's see. Yellow, red, pink, purple, blue, gray. Actually, we'll call that white, gray, and rainbow. Okay. just taking some notes here. If anyone's tuning in, I got to keep track of which players are supposed to have which colors of Kai Blast according to Dylan. So I am building myself just a little table here on paper. Okay, so let's see, 01, 06, 38. This is really tedious for anyone who's tuning in, so sorry about that. 54. 91. Okay, red, which color is that? 212. I'm looking at a list on my phone that Dylan sent me. 212, so 65. 97. 13. Okay, and pink. 228. So it's 59. 107. Purple. It's number 244, so that's sprite number 33. 49. 102. 118. Okay, blue. 202. Okay, number 17. Number 22. And 81. Okay. White ones. That's 218. Let's go only 86 for that one. Gray ones. That's 234. That's number 43. Okay, and rainbow is 250. And there's only one player that uses rainbow. Yeah, sprite number 123. Maybe make sure I have all of them here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. What am I missing here? I must have missed some. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Phone is just cutting off some of it. So 65, 202, so 202 is blue, and that should be number 70 as well, and 75. Right, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, I must be missing one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23. Okay, what did I miss? 1, 6. Oh, 11. 196. Oh, yep, there it is. Missed one. 11. Okay. Now I should have them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Got them. Okay. Sorry about that. That was just tedious on-paper stuff. Let's go back down here. Okay, so P0, Chi blast color equals, okay, so 0, 1. Actually, it's got to be a better way to do this. Oh yeah, I don't need to do it here. I can come up with a faster way to do this. Like, I might be able to consolidate some of this. I think what we want to do, I'm going to move this right here. Oh no, it's got to be, let's make sure that still works. Oh, no, okay, that's right, that's why it had to be there. Oh yeah, I see, okay. It's to be inside that one. Yeah, okay. After these if-then statements, we can do if P0 character highlight equals, here's where I'll be a little careful. How did I do this? 2-digit numbers. Nope, just 1-digit number. Okay. Oh no, it's not the highlighted one. Let me think. Oh yeah, okay. After we choose the sprite number, we can then say if P0 sprite equals zero 1 or P0 sprite equals 0.6 or P0 sprite equals equals 38, or P0 sprite equals 27, or P0 sprite equals 54, or P0 sprite equals 91, or P0 sprite equals, wait, did I already do 11? Let's see here. Forgot one. Okay. 1, 6, 38. Oh, yeah, 11. Okay. And then six. Red is 212. Pink is 228. 244. 202. 218. 234. And 250. Okay. P0 Chi Blast Sprite equals 97. Else if P0 Sprite equals 65, or P0 Chi Blast Sprite equals 97, or P0 Chi Blast Sprite equals 113, then P0 Chi Blast Sprite one equals 212. Oops, it's supposed to be P0, and P0 Chi Blast Sprite 2, it's supposed to be Sprite 2, equals 213. Else if P0 Sprite equals 59, or P0 Sprite equals 107, then P0 Chi Blast Sprite 1 equals, let's see, this would be pink, so 228, P0 Chi Blast Sprite 2 equals 229, else if P0 Sprite equals 33, or P0 sprite equals 49, or P0 sprite equals 102, or P0 sprite equals 118, then P0 chi blast, sprite 1 equals 244, P0 chi blast sprite 2 equals 245. Else if P0 sprite equals 17, or P0 sprite equals 22, or P0 sprite equals 81, or P0 sprite equals 70, or P0 sprite equals 75, and then P0 chi blast sprite 1 equals 202, P0 chi blast sprite 2 203. Else if, running out of tokens here, but I'm going to clean up some of this and consolidate a bit. Else if P0 sprite equals 86, then P0 chi blast sprite sprite 1 equals 86, and not 86, 218, excuse me, 218. P0 chi blast sprite 2 equals 219. Else if P0 sprite equals 43, then P0 chi blast sprite 1 let's see, we're on 43, that's a gray, so 234. P0 chi blast sprite 2 equals 235. Else if P0 sprite equals 123, then P0 chi blast sprite 1 equals 250. Get rebound writing. 250. 250. P0 chi blast sprite 2 equals 251. Okay, I think at this point I can, because it's going to be a little tedious, but I think it's got to be done, and I'm just going to have to find a way to get some tokens back in a little bit. I'm pretty sure I know how to get a few hundred tokens back based on what I already have in here. Okay, so we're going to do P0 chi explosion sprite 1 equals, now we have 198, P0 chi explosion sprite 2 equals, I gotta check my work here, Yep, 198. And we got 4 here. Okay. 199. P0 Chi explosion sprite 3 equals 200. P0 Chi explosion sprite 4 equals 201. Okay. P0 Chi explosion sprite 1 equals 214. P0 Chi explosion sprite 2 equals 215. P0 Chi explosion sprite 3 equals 216. P0 Chi explosion sprite 4 equals 217. P0 Chi explosion sprite 1 equals 230. P0 Chi explosion sprite 2 231. P0 Chi explosion sprite 3 equals 232. P0 Chi explosion sprite 4 equals 233. Okay, so far so good. P0 Chi explosion sprite 1 equals 246. P0 Chi explosion sprite 2 equals 247. P0 Chi explosion sprite 3 equals 248. P0 Chi explosion sprite 4 equals 249. P0 Chi explosion sprite 1 equals 204. P0 Chi explosion sprite 2 equals 205. P0 Chi explosion sprite 3 equals 206. P0 Chi explosion, I can type today, explosion sprite 4 equals 207. P0 Chi explosion, P0 Chi explosion sprite 1 equals 220. P0 Chi explosion sprite 2 equals 221. P0 Chi explosion sprite 3 equals 222. P0 Chi explosion sprite 4 equals 223. P0 Chi explosion sprite 1 equals 236. P0 Chi explosion sprite 2 equals 237. P0 Chi explosion sprite 3 equals 238. P0 Chi explosion sprite 4 is 239. And a couple more here. P0 Chi explosion sprite 1 equals 252. P0 Chi explosion sprite 2 equals 253. P0 chi explosion. Sprite 3 equals 254. P0 chi explosion. Sprite 4 equals 255. Okay. Now we need to repeat all of this right here for the player, the other player. So we're going to paste this in right here. Let's see how we did here. Okay. This is going to work so much better. What we were trying last night was just too complicated. I know we're over the token limit here, but that's okay. I'm going to reclaim some tokens here in a few minutes. I'm not sure what happens if you try to run the program while you have too high of a token count. It might just yell at you. So we're gonna do what we can to get this token count down, and then try to run the program. So let's get all this new stuff done first and see what we're left with. I'm pretty sure this is gonna work. Better than what we were trying last night, anyway. Okay, what happens if we try to run this? Yeah, program too large, doesn't like that, so that's right. We need to go back down here now. So on the Chi Blast, so now what we're going to do in these two parts of the Chi Blast loop, we're going to have equals P0 Chi Blast sprite 1. And then we're going to have P0 Chi Blast Sprite equals P0 Chi Blast Sprite 2. And we're going to do the same thing for the other player. I think this is going to work. I really do. I just need to shave a few tokens off here. Punches, punch loop, Chi Blast loop. Here we go. Okay, Chi Blast Sprite equals P0 Chi Blast Sprite 1. Down here, we're going to have, P1, excuse me. Here, I was going to do that. Equals P0 Chi Blast Sprite 2. Okay, then in the explosion loop, this is tricky because how does the explode? Where does it get its value from? Okay, P0 Chi. Okay, Chi explosion sprite. Oh yeah, I need to have it. Okay, well, oh, I know what I need to do. Okay, hold on. I need to come up here. P0 Chi explosion sprite equals P0 Chi explosion sprite 1. Yeah, okay, now we're onto it. P1 Chi explosion sprite equals P0 P1 Chi explosion sprite 1. Okay. This might have been some of the problem we were having yesterday. Okay, P0 Chi Blast explosion loop. Okay. Equals P0 Chi explosion sprite 2, and here equals P0 Chi explosion sprite 3, And here, this is going to equal P0 Chi explosion sprite 4. Okay. And then we reset the, okay, P0 Chi explosion sprite 1. Okay, I totally have this. I just need to trim off some tokens so I can run the game. Okay, P1 Chi blast explosions. Equals P1 Chi explosion sprite 2. Equals P0 explosion sprite Chi explosion sprite 3 is equals P0 P1, excuse me, Chi explosion sprite 4, and then this goes back to P1 Chi explosion sprite 1. Alright, this is totally going to work. Alrighty. Let's go trim some tokens here. Well, what can we do? We need these. We need those. Player 0. We need all that character selection stuff. What can I ditch here? Well, we don't really need the sprites defined, because we have those. We do need the initial positions. Punch attack variables, we need that. Chi blast variables, charging variables. I think we can probably ditch that, ditch that. Those are all being defined in the character selection screen. What else? Probably ditch that. Probably ditch that. Okay, so here we have character highlight. name. Just gotta write these down. Okay, so here we've got P0 sprite. We've got player 0 name. What about the function below? Why? Can we move to the next screen? Okay, sprite. Okay, it's a P0 sparking type. I think I can probably consolidate all of this. When is the reset character? Whatever it's called, reset player values. Okay. Control F, reset player values. Okay, so that's where the function is defined. Okay, after the game over, that's cool. Okay, when the round ends, so game over or round ends. I don't think there's any problem with that. Okay, I think what I'm going to do... I know I'm scrolling a lot here. Just want to make sure I'm not missing something. Yeah, I think come down here, it's the same thing, right? Name, yep. I think what we need to do is just take all of this right here, both players, Control C. I'm going to come up here before the reset. We're going to call this reset function. Reset player sprites or player info. And we're going to paste this right here. Boom. Okay, then in here, we're going to take all of this, not that, this, reset player info. Boom, boom. And we're going to come down here. Right here. Not here, not there, not there. Here. We're going to have reset player info. Boom, boom. Now we should be able to play the game. Right, so we select some characters. Okay, why am I not getting... Oh, bloody hell. Oops. Don't want to do that. Pretty good. Why am I getting mistakes here? Did I just make a typo somewhere? Looks like I'm getting both versions of the sprites there. Oops. Okay, yeah, there's a problem. Okay. What is the problem? one. It's that guy. Spring equals 33. It's supposed to be purple. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Maybe. So why is it working for some of them but not others? So that's so weird. If I choose this character, why on earth am I getting yellow and purple? There's just gotta be a little typo here somewhere. Let's go check the Kai Blast loops. It's gotta be in the loops. Okay. Okay. P0 Kai Blast Sprite 1, that looks right. Hey, I have not been working with PICO-8 very long at all. In fact, I'm not a trained software engineer in any way, shape, or form. I do have an affinity for retro games, and I've dabbled with programming for a long time. I am an intelligent lay person. I'm really stuck on something right now. Hey, my love, that's my wonderful girlfriend right there, chiming in with the hearts. Only a couple months. I had learned about PICO-8 and kind of kept my eye on it over the years, and I was having pizza with a friend of mine up in Ashland, Oregon, Dylan Metzing, and he had this idea for a retro Dragon Ball Z themed 8-bit style fighting game, kind of a demake of Dragon Ball Z. And I said, well, you know, I've been wanting to try this PICO-8 thing. Why don't we give it a try? And so we've been working on it for a couple months, and it's coming along really well. We're just stuck on this one bug that I cannot figure it out. I know it's probably just a typo here. I hope it's just a typo anyway, because it sure looks like almost everything is working well. We introduced some new code to change the colors of the Kai Blast. In fact, I'll show you here. So if I choose, we have this character selection screen. If I choose, say, I don't know, this character, and I choose this character, we have a couple of we have punching mechanics. Sorry, I got to remember which buttons are which here. There's punching mechanics, and then these Kai Blasts, and it's working pretty well. But on some of the characters, I'm getting the wrong color Kai Blasts. So there's clearly a typo somewhere. I just need to figure out where the hell I put a typo. So I think it's literally just a typo. Or there's a problem somewhere. So not too long. How about you? You have much experience with PICO-8? Is this, are you curious about it, or are you judging how bad my code is here? Given that yeah, it is very frustrating. But, you know, frankly, I'm really, really proud of the fact that we're like 85% of the way done with this game, and we have hit very, very few snags. We've made it so modular that it's been pretty easy to add things in a modular way without breaking things. And it really is only like right now that we broke things. And I think I probably know where I broke something. So you kind of forgive me if I am I'm just a little frustrated with this code, because I've been so good at this, and now we're having such problems getting this one new thing working right. It is really cool. Thanks. Here, I'll show you. You know, so when you run the game, and we don't have a title screen yet. We're going to get a title screen. We created this character selection screen. So you can select characters, and I'm not a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. I didn't know almost anything about it. Okay, so that character is working well. So it's got to be a problem with the other player. I probably just have a typo somewhere. So we've got, you can zoom around the screen. We've got punching and Kai Blasts. We have a charging mechanic. So we get these little sparking charging auras. They charge up your Kai meter. You see the Kai meter going up. Then we have like a sparking / transformation meter. And when that gets fully charged, you get power-ups. So the only problem right now seems to be the color of that Kai Blast on one of the players. So I suspect if I scroll down here, and we tried to do this yesterday, and we created way more problems than we have now. So I actually reverted to a previous version, fixed a couple little bugs we fixed yesterday, and it's better now. I just have this one bug I can't seem to get rid of. I'm glad you like the way the game looks. Okay, so here's where I suspect there's a problem. P1 Kai Blast loop. We're looking for, oh, yep, here it is, look. P1 Kai Blast, right? That's the typo. I just found it. That's the typo. Run. And there's some things I have to test, because these values are supposed to reset if you start a game over. So I need to make sure that when the game ends and when the round ends, everything is as it should be. The right color Kai Blast, the right color explosions, and so on and so forth. But I think that probably will fix it. So let's test it now. Okay, so, oh yeah, check that out. Oh yeah, we are kicking butt now. Check this out. Boom. Oh, thank you, my love. It is amazing all the work we've done. Actually, you know what's amazing is how quickly it came together. You know, this was 3 months ago. This was an idea over a table of pizza, and now it's a real thing. I'm so proud of it. And I see places where I could improve it for sure. But we're going to move on. So the thing is, we want to get away from PICO-8 eventually, because what we're going to do, we're going to try to shift to an environment that's more commercially viable. You know, we're going to use this as a way to learn to make games, get a foundation for us, get in a rhythm of making things and programming together, and then we're going to switch to like Godot and try to crank it. We have ideas for 2 or 3 or 4 more games, and we're going to jump ship on PICO-8 as much as I love it, and try to produce something for Steam for next time. So keep stay tuned, because we're working on some cool ass things. Yeah, exactly. And we obviously don't own Dragon Ball Z, so we can't actually publish this game commercially. We're going to finish this game. We're going to create an itch.io page for it. We're going to submit it to the PICO-8 forums. Oh, thank you for following. Thank you very much. And we're going to, and then move on and work on a new game. And we have other ideas for games that are going to be a little more commercially viable, and PICO-8, I'm going to continue to dabble with it. I really, really like it. I don't really like how chunky the code editor is. There's so much scrolling you have to do, as you know, if you've been messing with it at all, and that's been part of the problem. It's been like half my stream just scrolling around. So I'm pretty sure I fixed that bug. So what I want to do, I want to test it. So let's pick I don't know. It's funny because I'm not even really familiar with the characters. I know so little about Dragon Ball Z. So oh yeah, check it out. That's working great. Got the right color explosion and everything. Oh, yeah, I did notice that you can have multiple tabs. I guess in theory that would be easier, right? I mean, I wouldn't have to scroll quite so much. Can you give me an example of how one might use the tabs? Because again, I'm still relatively new to coding, and I've never done any professional programming other than I've done some long form XML programming with variables back in my educational technology days, but that was more like writing HTML. What might you put in one tab, and what might you put on another tab? Oh, Alt plus up and down jump to functions. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so I've probably been doing this the hard way for so long. But, it's funny because I'm known for doing things the hard way, but I'm also known for cranking them out. We went from having nothing to this game that's almost done in just a couple months. And, I might do things the hard way, but I'm really, really careful. So I seldom, even when I do things the hard way, I seldom regret it because I've been so careful that it just works pretty right. Maybe that's bad practice, but... What are you working on a game right now? What are you working on? So while we're talking, I'm just going to test a couple things. So you'll just forgive me if I'm listening to you, but I'm also just want to blaze forward a little bit and make sure that, when see, that's a problem, right? So why am I getting an X there? Okay, so which sprite, this is where I need to figure out which sprite that is. It's that yellow jobber. Okay. Which one are you? This guy, right? Yeah, okay, that's sprite number 113. Okay, that should have red Kai Blast, and it doesn't. So what the hell did I do wrong? So see, I'm still running into little problems, and it's probably just me with a typo. So let me find that. Where are you? It's not that one. It's funny. Even though this is pretty modular, there's just so much. And yeah, I see your point now that doing tabs would be a lot easier than what I've been doing. Okay, so reset player info. Okay, so it's not here. It's down in the character selection stuff. Yeah, right here. So 113. Okay, so if the sprite equals 65 or 97. Yeah, I need to see if it's a problem with both players or just one player. Been switching between a small roguelike and racing game prototype currently, just experimenting. Yeah, you know, it's funny if you look at here. I'm going to drop you a link in the chat here real quick. So you can see some of my early programming experiments in other programming languages, JavaScript and a little bit of Python. Let me just go to my website and grab the right page. Programming projects. There you go. Feel free to check out some of my early programming projects. I'm scrolling just a little bit through them here. Totally self-taught again, so, you know, go easy on me. But while I want to see if this problem I'm having is happening with both players or just the one player. Okay, so it is that player. Why am I getting... Why is that happening? So for some reason, it's getting the value of 0. So if P0 sprite... Oh, here's the problem. Yeah, here's the problem. P0. Yeah, look what I did. Sprite. Yeah, I just had the wrong variable name there. So now if I do the same thing for the other player, that should fix that problem. Yeah. That's what I get for just going too fast. I should have been copying and pasting what I was retyping by hand. E1 sprite. And I'll check all the others. Okay. Unfortunately, there's no fast way to test this. I'm just gonna have to think like a QA person and just test all the combinations. So now, if I come over here and select this guy, and I come select this guy, that should be throwing a red Chi Blast, and it is with a red explosion. Oh no! Look. We're getting the wrong explosions. What's happening? Why would we possibly be getting the wrong explosion sprites? Huh. Why? Just gonna check these one line at a time. So far they look good. Was this case right with 113? Yep. So P0 Chi Explosion Sprite 1, P0 Chi Explosion Sprite 2, P0 Chi Explosion Sprite 3. Aha, look. Sprite 4. Typo. Typos abound. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, thanks for following too. Here, let me follow you back real quick before I forget, because I will forget if I don't do it right now. But are you? I know you got to go, but I'd love to know if you're streaming your projects as well, because I watch a lot of Twitch streams when I'm not streaming myself. So if you stream your project, I'll catch you at some point too. Oh, that's okay. I followed you anyway. thanks for tuning in. You know, we're pretty new to this, so every follow helps, and just appreciate the positive energy. You know, it's hard to learn to do something new, and the positive energy counts for a lot. So I really appreciate you tuning in. Hope you have a nice evening. As my mom would say, it beats the alternative. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I fixed this problem now. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Life is too short to have bad days, so have a good day, evening, week, life, all the above. And so now I should be getting the right color. Oh yeah, check that out. Boom. So I'm just going to be doing a little testing here. We'll charge this guy up a little bit. Oh yeah, pretty rock solid now. I'm going to let my friend Dylan know that I fixed the problem. Fixed it. Do you have time to jump on? The only thing that needs adjusting is we have different colors of the auras for the different characters, and we adjusted some of them, but because we had such problems last night, I reverted to a previous version, so I need to get those adjustments from Dylan again. Alright, let's save this before I forget here. So let's make sure we're in the right directory. Yep. Save, fight, yes. Okay, let's bang on this some more. This is so good. Let's just check some of them randomly. Looks awfully complicated. You know, it's not too bad, because if you approach it in a modular way, you can add things and add things and add things in a way that doesn't break other things, and it is complicated. This is by far the most complicated. Excuse me, I just have a little itch in my back. This is by far the most complicated thing I've ever programmed. In fact, you can see earlier in the chat, there's a link to some of my previous programming projects. And but if you look, it's not too bad. Like, I'm going to scroll all the way up, and you can see how modular this is. So, like, you know, we've got a variable that tells you which screen we're on. We've got a variable that tells you, you know, the color of the highlight boxes, and we've got variables for the names of the characters. So all these variable names, not too complicated. And then we have these relatively simple functions like, let me find something simple. 2,053 lines isn't much. It's not too bad. I'm a little concerned. If you look down here, I'm a little concerned about the number of tokens that we're using. We're running out of room here, so we've got to consolidate a little bit, and that's causing me some concern. So, like, you know, for example, here's an extremely simple function. All it does is display the timer. Boom. So, and then we have a function for the timer countdown and a function to draw the gauges. So it's not too bad. All you got to do is break it down and break it down and break it down and break it down, one little function at a time, and build it up like a Lego project. Easier said than done, I know. If you're not used to looking at code, it looks complicated. If you are used to looking at code, you know, everyone's probably judging how messy my code is, because I'm not a professional programmer. So the indentations are a little haphazard, and there's probably a more efficient way to do everything I've done. But I'm really proud of it, and we've got a working game. I mean, check this out. And there's still some things we're tweaking. It's not done. It's like 90% done. We need a title screen. We need to clean up some of the text inside the boxes so they're positioned correctly. But building this character selection screen took several hours. In fact, this is what I was testing right now, because what I just added was the different colors of projectiles for each of these characters, and it was like Bug City. I swear, I could not get it working correctly. So, and I think I finally fixed the problems. So now, I am a philosophy instructor. I'm between teaching jobs right now, but I teach philosophy part-time. I've never had the luxury of doing it full-time since I was a grad student. What the heck am I doing programming? Well, part of teaching philosophy is teaching logic, and anyone who can teach or do logic probably has an aptitude for programming. Logic basically boils down to sequential reasoning and if-then statements, and so I have an aptitude for it. And I've also been programming since I was a kid. When I was a little kid, I used to program. In fact, let me end the. There we go. I don't have the background music. When I was a kid, I used to write programs in BASIC on a Texas Instruments TI-99/4A home computer. And later in life, I discovered I still really liked programming. And so I did a bit of retro programming. And you can see a link to my website up above in the chat, where there's some early programming projects I did over the years. I used to work in educational. I am a typical WoW fan, that's probably true. I used to work in educational technology, writing and programming online learning materials for college-level logic and philosophy courses. And what I was doing there, I was writing homework assignments in long-form XML, similar to HTML, and we were using variables to randomize the content. So different students would get different versions of the same assignment, so they couldn't copy off of each other. But I also worked really closely with a software engineer who was the chief technical officer for the company, who he built these cool little interactive logic widgets to go inside my code, my content. We had an interactive Venn diagram tool, an interactive truth table tool, an the coup de grace was the interactive logic proof checker tool that he built, which was amazing. It's an order of magnitude more complicated than this for me. It's still wizardry to me. But he used to work with Steve Jobs back in the day. He worked for Apple way back in the early 1980s. So I have a good pedigree, and even though I've never been trained as a software engineer, I have really good role models to follow, and I learn quickly, and I like to dabble, and I like to mess with things. And so you kind of can't hold me back. Even if I don't do it great, I will do it, and I'll make sure everything works well. I'm careful enough to go line by line by line to make sure it's rock solid at the end of the day. Hey, the graphics match code is cool. Are you familiar with the Texas Instruments TI-99/4A home computer? It's from the early 1980s. I don't know how old you are and what your history is, but that was my favorite retro computer from when I was a little kid, and that was in a type-in. In fact, I was looking to see if I have the book here. I don't actually have it handy, but that was one of the manuals that came with the system. Had a so before your time, one of the manuals that came with that computer had a like a little slot machine program with these cool little graphics of fruits and whatnot, and some logic for how the different rollers work for the slot machine game, and some logic that dictates how many points you get. And one of my first attempts at writing a game in a modern programming language was to take that code written in BASIC and try to translate it into a modern language. And I did it twice. One I did in Python. I think that's on my website there as well. If you scroll down, there's the Python version, like a text-based version of it. And then a little higher up on that page, there's a graphical version I did in JavaScript and P5.js. And I'm really proud of both of those. They weren't terribly complicated, but I didn't know anything about programming. I used those as a way of teaching myself JavaScript and teaching myself Python. And I think what I learned is that the languages are the least important part of the whole thing. Like anything you can do in one programming language, you can pretty much do in any other programming language, up to a certain point. And the ability to think through the if-then statements that dictate how the logic works is way more important than the particulars of any given programming language. So, and that's a good revelation, because it means, okay, if I know a little Python, that means I can do a little bit in JavaScript. And if I know a little JavaScript, I can do a little bit in Lua here in PICO-8. And most importantly, I just need to think through all the things that go into the interactions that make up a game like this, and start small and just build it up. I remember when we started working on this game, I told my friend Dylan, I've never made a game this complicated, but we're going to do it piece by piece by piece by piece. And I said, first thing I want to do is just figure out how to get a little sprite character on the screen and get him moving around. Okay, boom. Then we got him a little character and we got him zipping around. And then it was like, okay, now we've got some problems. We need to make sure that when he flies off the screen, he doesn't just keep going. We need to put some boundaries on the screen. Okay, now let's get 2 players on the screen. Boom, okay, great. Now we got 2 players. Well, what's the problem when you have 2 players? They can't be on at the same position, so they have to collide into each other and not move through each other. And so we built that. And then it's like, okay, let's get it so when you hit a button, it rotates between 2 sprites. So it looks like it's punching. Boom, 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 boom. So we built a little logic to get the players punching, even if it didn't do anything yet. It didn't cause the other player any damage. Like let's get the players punching. It's like, okay, let's add some health points. So when you actually punch the other player, their health points go down. Let's add that. And then we need a way to display those health points. So we built a little code for the gauges, and just boom, little by little by little, we kept adding to the game, and before you know it, we've added enough and it feels like a real game. So what's missing now is not very much. We need a title screen, and we need to fix the the colors of the auras when the players are charging, because they're incorrect. We made some changes last time, but I had to revert them, so I need to redo that. I need Dylan to do that because I don't know much about Dragon Ball Z. And then if you look, let me just show you here. If it doesn't matter what players I choose. If I end a round, like let's say I do a lot of damage really quick, and the other player is just sitting there, and I sorry, which button? There we go. Not that button. Which button? I don't have controllers. I'm using my keyboard, so the buttons are kind of weird. So let's say I win a round. You'll see some funkiness. Like this looks okay, but it's not centered. So I need to make sure that the the text is centered in the boxes in all cases. And if I end the game, you'll see even more weirdness. So it's best 2 out of 3 rounds. So right here, you see this kind of stuff doesn't fit in the boxes. So we need to adjust the size of the boxes, change the text so it fits in, make sure everything's centered, and that really granular stuff to make it look really professional has not happened yet. So we need to do that, and we need a title screen. And I've got about just under 400 tokens to do it. So I think there's places where I can probably condense things a little bit more, but we're really pushing PICO-8 to its limit, I think. Last time we had some bugs where the music wasn't playing correctly. There was like a delay, and then the music started. We realized that one of the sound effects was using the same channel as the music, so we needed to set those on different channels. Just little stuff like that, and it's oddly enough, and that sounds kind of counterintuitive, but like the big things were actually pretty easy. Like building that character selection screen, we did it in 1 day and it took about 5 hours. But fixing these little bugs is just taking days, and I wanted to get this game done because I'm so excited about it. We just want to share it, even if we're not making any money off it, obviously. We want to share it and we want to get it out there, and we're just getting bogged down by these little things. The partnership my friend Dylan and I have had has been a lot of fun because he did all the artwork and has done all the music and the sound effects, and I've done 98% of the coding in the game. And we have a totally complementary skill set, and they're happy to be deferential about each other's domains, and happy to kind of go, well, it'd be better if we did this, and I can't really do that, that's not realistic, or that's not going to fit given the limitations we've got or whatnot. And then round and round we've gone a couple times. It's been wonderful and positive, and we made a game. And like I said, two months ago, this was just an idea. 2.5 months ago, this was just an idea over a table of pizza, and now it's a real thing. So I'm so proud of it, and before we know it, maybe we're going to start a game company and be making games for a living. Wouldn't that be cool? Said every game developer ever, right? But you never know. We're getting pretty good at this. I know it looks kind of amateurish. I don't know. I'm curious what you think. I mean, this is my very first stab at anything resembling this complicated. Before this, the most complicated thing I ever done was that graphics match game, and then my professional work, which is programming and more complicated than slot machines. But this is my first attempt at a standalone program completely programmed by me, and you know, it's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good, I think. And I mean, look at this. You know, we got it working exactly as we expect, and you know, we got punching, we got Kai blasts, we got explosions, we got the two players that, you know, the Kai blasts cancel each other out, and we had to code all that. And you know, I would say 85% of it went smoother than expected. So in the not too distant future, we're going to finish it up. We need to make a title screen. We need to fix those bugs of the text positions inside those boxes. That's not really a bug, just we didn't give it much attention to detail when we worked on it. But the game mechanics are pretty good, and Dylan and his friends have been playtesting it with controllers, and the reports are really good. People are really enjoying it. It looks like it's, because it's only me right now, and it's a 2-player game, but while you're, let me queue up some characters here. While you're, you know, if it's just one player stationary, it looks like, what's hard about this, right? You just, you know, you just kind of punch the other player and you know, shoot these Kai blasts. When the other player is trying to get away, it's kind of like it's a fast-paced game, because you have to do a bunch of damage while the other player is moving really fast to try to get away. And as I understand it, that's in the spirit of Dragon Ball Z. And like I said, I'm not a Dragon Ball Z fan myself, so everything I know about Dragon Ball Z I've learned from my collaboration partner Dylan on this game. But the reports for people who are playtesting it, both who know a lot about Dragon Ball Z and have played previous Dragon Ball Z games, and people that don't know anything about Dragon Ball Z but have some experience with retro games, are finding that this is actually a fun game to play. And you know, I love the just little bits of candy we added in. We had a function to randomize the placement of the stars when the game first runs, and that persists throughout the game. When the game resets, the position of the stars reset. There's several different planets. You can see, let me show you some of the artwork here. Look at these planets, and I could never make planets that look this beautiful. Look at what a good job my friend Dylan did on these planets. So there are 4, I'm not sure what the story is with this one. I don't know enough about Dragon Ball Z, but he assures me this is important to Dragon Ball Z. But there are 8 possible planets that can show up in the background. We initially wanted players to be able to choose their staging area, like what planet they're near. Just we used up so much room in the character selection screen that it just was a non-starter. We weren't going to be able to add 3 character selection screen, or 3 selection screens, one for the players and one for the planets and one for the Kai Blast colors. So, but that's okay, you know, as long as it's coherent to and makes sense to Dragon Ball Z fans, we're doing okay. So, yeah, I'm glad it looks good. You know, it's amazing what 2 people can do. I've been told I don't play well with others because I don't really like working in groups, but I really like working in close partnerships, and Dylan and I have been a really good partnership developing this game, and in my professional work I've had really good one-on-one partnerships that have been really productive, and I surprised myself. I was really scared when I dove in. I'm like, man, I hope I'm not biting off more than I can chew. But lo and behold, my logic background is serving me well when it comes to learning programming. I don't know how we did it, frankly. I feel like every time I dive into to just do something else to this game, I have to like remember what I did. Because even though I've been pretty good at commenting it, you can see the comments here. So what each function does, or what each portion of the code does. It's pretty complicated for me. And I've had to kind of go, okay, how the hell does this work every time I make a major change? How the hell does this work? But the comments are really helpful, and some of this is commented out. Like I found I didn't actually need that bit of code because we're dealing with it elsewhere and whatnot. So, yeah, it is awesome. I'm glad you like it. I really, really am. I'm proud of it. All these bits that are commented out are probably going to be deleted. I just commented them out instead of deleting them right now, just to make sure everything still works before I delete them. Yeah, so I'll just kind of scroll through the whole code here, and if you have any questions or anything jumps out at you, feel free to say so. And I'm actually I was hoping Dylan had time to jump on here tonight. He said he might be busy, but if I don't hear from him, I'm just going to email him a new version of the game. And I did it. In fact, what I'm going to do, I've been using a site called Trello, which is like a free project management program to keep track of the things we want to do, and I just added Kite Flash colors for each player, and that is now done. And so there's things we have to do, like the title screen we really have to do. We actually finished that. We may or may not flip the auras, depending on the direction the player is facing, to be determined. Music for the title screen. Yeah, that's about it. And then we're pretty close to having a game done. Well, on that note, I appreciate everyone tuning in. I didn't hear from Dylan, so I am going to email him a copy of the game. But I do not want to stream all night tonight. I have an early morning tomorrow, and I'm going to spend some time with Susan and get something to drink because I'm thirsty, and I was really kind of worn out from working on this yesterday. We worked on this for like 6 hours yesterday, and we just beat our heads against the wall. We were trying an approach that just was not working. Every time we added something, we introduced like 10 other bugs. And at a certain point, I realized we're just doing this the hard way. We're overcomplicating something that's not that complicated. Let's revert to the previous version that was working fine. Let's make the couple little bug fixes that we did at the beginning of the stream yesterday. And I told Dylan, I just want to bang away at this tomorrow, which is today now. And lo and behold, I got it done. So little by little, we're hammering through it. We got a finished game, and then we're going to move on and make new games and maybe start a game studio or game company. I'm really excited about that because we have some really cool ideas for games to work on from here. I hope everyone has a really good night. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate the enthusiasm, and I'm really pleased that people look at this and go, "Wow, that looks like a cool game," because I think so too, and Dylan thinks so too. People that are playing it think it's fun. It's amazing what creative people can do when they focus on something. I hope everyone has a really good night. Thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you later this week. Susan and I are doing a lot of World of Warcraft streaming, and I've been doing some retro streaming, so keep tuning in. We're on regularly, if not every day, most days at some point or another. And you can always catch, I upload all my streams to YouTube, so if you happen to miss any streams, you want to see what I'm doing, just look me up on YouTube. You can find it under CozyAzeroth or under my name, Zachary Fruling. Either one, you can find me easily. And check out all the previous streams. We're always doing something interesting. And if anything, I worry my channel lacks a little bit of focus. I'm doing so many things. It's a bit of a variety channel, and people are interested in different things. But hope you're interested in at least a couple things that we're working on and plowing forward. In this uncertain terrain that we're in these days. Hope everyone has a good night, and I will catch you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.